Hello everyone, I'm Rob, welcome back to the channel, and today I am in the very windy North Yorkshire moors to tell you about a little secret that I have discovered. Thank you to Tom Scott, who some of you might know on YouTube. He's quite a big YouTuber basically, and he made a video about this, and when I watched it, the reason why I watched it is that I recognised the location. The location being the moors in the middle of nowhere. Oh, hang on. Cheeky little adder there. Good job I haven't got Poppy with me today. I think that's the first adder of the channel. Getting sidetracked. Anyway, yeah, so we found this video, I recognised it, and when I watched it, I was stunned. And then I wanted to come here and show you lot. So that's exactly what we're gonna do. So we are at a place called Wheeldale Moor, and to give you a bit of idea of where that is, we've got Pickering probably about 10 miles that way, Whitby about 10 miles that way, Scarborough about 20 miles that way, and not very much over this way, which made it, in the eyes of the government in the 60s, the perfect location for something a bit sinister. Oh, I tell you what, it's a weird weather day today. It's very windy, it's very warm, but it's also been absolutely pelting it down with rain. Didn't know what to wear, so naturally I've dressed entirely inappropriately for a walk. But it's alright though, it won't be a very long one this. It's more about the history of the place that I'd actually like to tell you, which is completely against the ethos of the channel. Usually we take nuggets of information and ignore the main the main subject, but today I know I keep picking it up and we'll get there in a minute, but I'm just flabbergasted by this. It was certainly a very weird thing to discover. I have brought the drone with me as well, which I'm really hoping we'll be able to get up, but you just get a little bit higher up here and it's just being brayed by the wind. So we'll have to see. I mean, you'll probably know because I'll probably put a little bit in at the beginning. You guys always know more than me. You can see the future. Nearly there, lads and lasses. I hope you're ready for this. Welcome to the site of the UK's proposed peaceful nuclear explosion testing. Bet you weren't expecting me to say that now, were you? So this all came from a declassified report from the British National Archives titled "Possible Sites for Completely Contained Nuclear Explosions in North Yorkshire." Now, can you guess what that report might have been about? So this was written in June 1969 and came about at a time when peaceful nuclear explosions were popular among nuclear experts and policymakers. The proposal planned to use a nuclear explosion to create a large underground cavity for gas storage, which would have provided an alternative to above ground tanks. Now, if this sounds crazy, the idea of using peaceful nuclear explosions, it was actually quite a common proposition at the time. Other PNE ideas, as they were called, included building harbours, canals, or stimulating gas wells, aka nuclear fracking. The US conducted about 24 such tests under Operation Plowshare, and the Soviet Union did over 200, though both later encountered issues with radiation contaminating the gas. In the UK, the Gas Council and the Atomic Weapons Research Establishment studied the feasibility of nuclear-induced gas storage caverns, and this was the location that they picked. Their plan was to purchase all the land within a 1 mile radius just down there. Then they were going to drill 200 feet down into the earth, about 600 meters, with an extra wide drill bit, and lower a 25 kiloton nuclear bomb right to the bottom. They'd then seal and cover the drilling hole to contain the blast, evacuate approximately 1,000 people from this area. I don't know who, but they were going to evacuate these people, and then they were going to detonate the bomb. Now, they expected that the surface effects would be minimal, a bit of a jolt and a rumble, some very startled birds. The nearby towns of Pickering and Whitby might feel a minor earthquake, which could potentially cause some cracks to buildings. The report phrased this delicately, and it's unclear if locals would have even been informed. Except there's one big flaw in that plan. They were going to evacuate 1,000 people from the area. Now, if you know anything about people from North Yorkshire, we like to have a bit of a chat. You get yourself down to the pub, prop up the bar, have a chinwag with your neighbours. And if I'd heard that our Terry up the street had been booted out of his house by the government, and then a couple of days later heard an earth-shattering boom, I think you might start to put the pieces together. Now, I might be a common lad from Yorkshire, but that sounds like something not quite right to me. Now, Teddy, let me tell you about this. Teddy, listen to me, Teddy, put your John Smiths down and listen. Let me tell you about this thing I've been learning about. Have you heard, Teddy, about peaceful nuclear explosions? Now, Teddy, I know what you're thinking. Nuclear, is this Hiroshima? No, Teddy, that wasn't peaceful. Where am I going with this? Yeah, I think people would have noticed, is my point. And then after the explosion, the underground cavern created was going to be left to cool for a couple of months before they'd attempt to flush out all the radioactive material. Pumping equipment would then convert the cavern into a high pressure gas storage facility with potential plans to sell the land later. The detonation itself was expected to cost around £9 million, inflation adjusted, which, despite the higher costs of setting up when compared to above ground storage, it was promised that the operational cost would be lower overall. But of course, there were significant risks. As we've already discovered, the US and the Soviet Union both found the process of flushing out radioactive material rather challenging, and it actually contaminated the gas. Potential failure was a big thing. They couldn't be certain that any of this would actually work, and lingering radiation could contaminate the gas, could contaminate the land, could contaminate the little river that's down there. It could destroy the wildlife that lives here. Because of the risks involved, the plan didn't even make it to the Prime Minister's desk, as it's suspected that it would have been seen as a very bad political decision. You think? So, overall, it was decided that it was a stupid idea, and eventually it was dropped. Now, apparently, they suggested in the report that it might be open for further discussion, but the idea was eventually dropped, and peaceful nuclear explosions were eventually banned by a treaty. So the North Yorkshire moors were never bombed. And I, for one, am very glad that they didn't, because I love this area. Look at it. I've been up here chatting about nuclear explosions for far too long. You haven't seen all the times I biff my lines. And not a person, guys. So yeah, that's about it. That is my peaceful nuclear explosion fact of the day for you. So, that is the dark, dirty secret of the 1960s UK government and their attempts to sully the land of North Yorkshire. These bloody southerners trying to drop nuclear bombs on our northern territory. But that is about it. There's nothing down there to show you. Nothing ever went beyond the planning stage. It was just some lunatic's dream. I've not even seen any more snakes since that first one. Maybe I've scared them all off with talks of nuclear explosions. I don't really know what else to talk to you about now. I came up here with a plan and I've told you all I know. So yeah, with that, I'll thank you so much for watching. I hope you found my random knowledge of some interest. If you have, and if you know more about it actually, do please let me know in the comments. I was quite fascinated when I learnt about it in that Tom Scott video. I'll pop a link for that in the description, so I highly recommend you go and watch it, or any of his videos, because they are genuinely interesting. And with that, I will be back in a couple of weeks, probably not with more information, but more walking certainly. Do please like it, share it around with your friends and your family, share it around with peaceful nuclear explosion enthusiasts, and let's get an idea of what they think about all this. Share it with people who don't like nuclear explosions, which is presumably a lot of you. And yeah, let me know what's going on. Anyway, yeah, I'll stop rambling because I've been rambling for much too long on this video. Thank you so much for watching. Take care.